Here we go. Wednesday morning. I am Kelly Nash, and I am in a great mood. I hope you are as well. And I'd like to call together a family meeting. This is for the MAGA crowd, which I believe is the overwhelming majority of this audience. However, if you're not MAGA, you're one of those, we hate MAGA, but we like to listen to what MAGA talks about. You're welcome as well. You can listen to what I'm going to say and then mock me online for it. That's fine. I don't mind. But here's what I want to say to the MAGA community. It has been a very interesting several weeks leading up to the big events of Saturday night. And it divided a lot of what we'll just call the MAGA base, because you really saw some conflicting opinions as to what Donald Trump should do or maybe shouldn't do. And it got pretty heated. Now, Ben Shapiro, who I admire as one of the smartest political analysts on earth, I think he's made a grave mistake. Not a grave mistake. He made a big mistake yesterday, and he's been making this mistake now for several days. But again, Ben Shapiro, I mean, no disrespect. This is my opinion of what you've been doing. He wanted to basically take a victory lap on all of the MAGA people. And this clip that I'm going to play is only like 40 seconds long. His clip went like 5 minutes of just one right after another getting it wrong.
These are the people who kept telling you it was going to be World War III. And there are lots of them. Lots and lots of people who are telling you it was going to be World War III.
The next 200 days are some of the most perilous times for the American Republic in its history. Because if we don't get this sorted, we're going to be drawn in totally into a conflict as a combatant.
And if it's not Ukraine, it's Israel or it's someone else. Our foreign policy is so much not in America's interest. We could be yanked into war for absolutely no consequential reasons whatsoever.
This war, which we do not need to fight, which is not in our interest, has the potential to be devastating to our country, let alone the region.
It looks like the chosen destination is indeed Armageddon.
Oh, Armageddon, golly. Obviously, they all got it wrong. Tucker Carlson was wrong. Candace Owens was wrong. I mean, the list goes on and on of people who got it wrong leading up to this. But the point that I'd like to make is that's okay. I mean, Ben Shapiro is trying to deplatform these people by saying, in his assessment, this was an easy decision. There was no conflict leading into this. That it's so basic what Trump needed to do, and Trump did exactly what he needed to do, that if you couldn't assess this properly, then you're a complete moron and you have no business really. I can't trust any more of your opinions. That was his thing. He alluded to the fact that some of them may be being paid by other outsiders and then kind of retracted that. Look, I think that there is room in a family, there is room in a community for people to have conflicting opinions. And as a matter of fact, I would encourage it. My biggest criticism of MAGA, and by the way, I am a member of MAGA. I look over my shoulder. If you're watching this on video, you'll see a picture of Donald Trump, with his fist in the air, fight, with the blood coming down his face. I love that man's spirit. I don't agree with him on everything. MAGA is, by the way, I don't know if you knew this, that's not even his phrase, right? MAGA was Ronald Reagan's campaign slogan back in 1980. If you see a video where I record it in my office, those videos, you'll see the Reagan poster over my shoulder, and it says pretty clearly, let's make America great again. And if you ever seen the documentary on Roger Stone, he talks about when he was trying to get Donald Trump to run for president, because Roger Stone had great political instincts and knew that Donald Trump could win and would be an amazing president, completely different than anybody from the political class. But one of the things he sold him on was, you know what? It was Reagan's slogan in the 80s. You should bring that back. You're the Make America Great Again president. And Trump said, I love it. Let's do it. And then they launched the hashtag MAGA, and the rest is now history. But having differing opinions inside MAGA makes it healthy. If we all agreed on everything all the time, that's called a cult. I don't want to be a member of a cult. I like the fact that we pride ourselves on differing opinions, or we should. We pride ourselves on being critical thinkers. You give us the information and then we assess it and we come up with our own opinions. That's good. Democrats do not do that. Democrats take what is spoon-fed to them and then just repeat it back to you. That is wrong. So, and look, I know I'm a huge Reagan fan as well. Everybody talks about the Reagan 11th commandment.
The 11th commandment prevails, and that is, thou shalt not speak ill of another Republican.
All right. And by the way, that's a total fallacy. Reagan obviously spoke very not encouragingly of Gerald Ford. And when he primaried him in 1976, he talked not so nicely, as Trump might say, about some of his competitors in the 1980 primary. But the overriding theme of that is still true. What we say to each other in private with our discussions about upcoming policy decisions and how we'd like to see things go and all that, that's one thing. Once the decision is made, it's almost like you got to be a member of the administration. You see how Donald Trump has filled his administration with advisors and people who don't necessarily agree on things. If you remember the leaked chat that had the vice president on it and Pete Hegseth and all these other people, and they were talking about what the next the next military move should be regarding the Houthis. And there was a lot of conflict there. But once the decision was made, they all backed it. And that's the way. Look, you've got enough opposition coming at the whole country right now. The difference between MAGA and the Democrats and even some Republicans, because if you're not a MAGA Republican, you're basically swampsters. They don't necessarily want the best for the country. Everybody in MAGA wants the best for the country. How we get to the best for the country, that's up for debate. But once the decision has been made to move forward, recognize that the left is going to try to cut the knees off on that. And you see that with Trump called out CNN yesterday before he got on the chopper there. But all the media is questioning whether or not there was anything actually even accomplished by Saturday night. Like, you just happen to fire in all these missiles and drop all these 30,000-pound bombs, but really you might have set them back a few weeks is what we're hearing. That's our classified report that we don't have access to, that we can't show anybody to. I mean, that is, and their base is going to run with that. Trump is, it's kind of like building the wall. You build the wall. Tim Walz, it wasn't Tim Walz the one who said, you build the 10-foot wall, I'll show you, I'll start selling 11-foot ladder company or whatever. No matter what Trump does, it's going to be ineffective in their opinion, even though the results are now we have a ceasefire. And even if it was the way they said it was, they're still going to now allow inspectors in there. You think that Donald Trump and the Israelis are going to allow them to ever have a nuclear program again? Absolutely not. So it was very successful. Whether it knocked them offline forever, the end result is it does knock them offline forever because it now gives us an access point to get in there. So there you go. MAGA, stick together. Have your arguments in private. I don't like us airing the dirty laundry on the platforms. That's what I got to say about that. If you got something else you'd like to say about it, go ahead and air your dirty laundry with me on the Talkback feature on the iHeartRadio app.